Hey everyone, REDyTay here, back at it with another solo Pokemon challenge. Beating Pokemon Silver with Girafaig went extremely smoothly, with a little challenge at the very end. With this challenge, we will be staying in the same vein with having a Pokemon benefit from having an interesting type combination, but its moveset might not be the best moves to represent its typing. Today we are going to see if you can beat Pokemon Ruby with a single Skarmory. Like I said, I feel like Skarmory is an interesting Pokemon when it comes to its typing. It was originally introduced in Generation 2 along with Steel type. I never really used one of these for some reason and I'm not quite sure why, but this should be exciting. Like I said, it is a Steel type along with being part Flying, and that is a fun combination. We are actually immune to two types, Poison and Ground, and look at all we resist. Normal, Flying, Bug, Steel, Grass, Psychic, and Dragon. This is the best resistance list we have seen in a challenge so far. The added bonus is we are only weak to Fire Electric, so that is awesome too. So with such an awesome type matchup comes a few things holding Skarmory back. Part of that would be the base stats. Yeah, it's not the worst stats. We are a little better than a first form starter, but it could be better for a non-evolving Pokemon. The defense is amazing, and obviously our best stat, but everything else is kinda lackluster. Special attack is horrible, but if you think about it, we will most likely never need that stat, so it doesn't matter. I hate the fact our HP is that low, but we are part Flying, so that makes sense, I guess. Come to think of it, I feel like our special defense and speed are also representative of our Steel typing. The other problem we have is Skarmory's moveset. We have a lot of basic moves at the start, and really the only good move I feel like we learned by moveset is Steel Wing. TM list is a little better, but not much. Really, I feel like the only moves we will pick up from this will be Aerial Ace and Fly. I feel like this is turning into a rather lengthy intro, so let's get going into the run. But first, the rules. We will only be using Skarmory throughout the whole run. HM Pokemon can still be used to advance, however. No hacks or glitch can be used to advance, and I'm going to be sticking with the trend where I won't be using items in battle, only held items or items given to Skarmory before the battle starts. I am not really sure what to expect from this run. I feel like we will resist a lot of things, but can we deal the damage back? I think the beginning is going to be rough, and I'm not looking forward to the back-to-back Wattson and Flannery battles. Let's jump in. So we start this run like you start any Generation 3 run by saving Professor Birch. I used the Pokemon randomizer to replace Trico with Skarmory so that our rival will have Torchic, the hardest starter for Skarmory to fight against. I named Skarmory Capaldi because you can just tell he has the attack eyebrows. Capaldi has a sassy nature, which is kind of fitting. I'm a little bummed that we're going to have a decreased speed stat because I love a fast Pokemon, but on the other hand, we need to do anything we can to boost our special defense stat, considering the only two types that we are weak to are both special type attackers. We only have Leer and Peck to work with here at the start, which is horrible considering this is a Generation 3 game, which means we have a Rock Gym right at the start. Let's get going, face our rival, and grinding. Speaking of our rival, battling them was real uneventful. Peck is a really weak move even here, but it's doing loads better than our rival's attacks thanks to us being part Steel. 3 Pecks and Torchic soon goes down. So while we grind and catch some Zigzagoons, let's discuss the plan for us to beat Roxanne. Basically, we don't have any good moves to use against her Pokemon. We may be part Flying, but we are also part Steel, so we resist her Pokemon's moves like Rock Tomb. The problem is her Pokemon will resist our moves even better. Our best chance for success is to have a level lead, and hopefully with us adding Sand Attack and Swift to our moveset through level up, we can pull off the win. Okay, so we give it our first attempt against Roxanne at level 15, and we can't even beat Geodude. We waste a lot of time using Leer while it uses Defense Curl. We also get slowed down considerably thanks to Rock Tombs used at the start. We did get it to yellow health, but then Roxanne uses a potion, and from there we are not able to get it back to the point thanks to Geodude's defense being too buffed, and us not being able to keep up thanks to us needing to spam Leer and an attacking move. We need to grind some more. Maybe level 20? We get to level 20 easy enough. It was kind of a mediocre grind despite the fact that most of the wild Pokemon we fought were either level 6 or 7. Anyway, things are looking better. Not great, but better. We are still stuck in a battle between Leer and Defense Curl against Geodude, but we are kind of edging out ahead of her here, and thanks to our buff stats, we are taking less damage from Rock Tomb or Rock Throw, and our Swift has a little extra oomph when it hits, even if we can't get all of our Leers in. Roxanne even uses 2 potions during all this, and we still come out on top. When Nose passes out, we go back to trying to lower our opponent's defense. This thing loves to spam Harden, and it is a nuisance. It's really hard to get its defense lower. It is hitting us some with Rock Throw, but we are handling this pretty well. I gauge how we are doing attack-wise with a couple of Swifts, and it's not hitting real hard. But after what feels like an eternity going back and forth, buffering and lowering Nosepass defense, we stick with just going on the offensive with Swift. And I'm glad that we do, considering that around this time Nosepass is spamming Rock Throw, and we are both dealing about the same amount of damage here, but we have a little bit of a lead. We eventually get Nosepass to go down while we are standing with 6 health. Actually, come to think of it, one of Nosepass's Rock Throws missed earlier in this battle. If it didn't, this battle would have had a different outcome. Okay, that gym took a little bit of a grind. We knew the first one was going to take a little extra work for us to pull out the win. Luckily for us, the next one should be a breeze. Brawly is all about fighting type Pokemon, and thanks to our level, even a weak flying move like Peck should do a lot here against them. Which is great considering the 3rd and 4th gyms are going to be absolutely brutal. It would be nice to have an easy one before diving into those. Yeah, Brawly was a complete pushover. Makihita was annoying with it getting healed up multiple times, but none of his Pokemon landed a hit on us, and the battle was only a little over a minute long. So, like I just said, we have a major hurdle ahead of us with the Electric and then the Fire Gym right after. Yes, I'm battling every trainer here on the route to Mauville. We need as much experience as we can get. I'm also having a hard time thinking we can get past Wattson without Rock Smash. I know that I've gotten this move in every other Generation 3 Hoenn challenge just to beat Wattson, but this challenge we are actually weak to electric moves. It might be a necessity here. But first we have a rival battle to take care of. Out first is Wailmer, which goes down easily from Swifts thanks to it just wasting time with Splash. Next is Combusken, which is the one Pokemon on this team I am worried about. Ember does a good bit of damage, but we are still in the green. Swift is still doing a good job here, and thanks to it wasting turns with a focus energy, we take it down soon enough. Last for our rival is Shroomish, and even though it's a weak move, a critical hit Peck wraps this battle up smoothly. Well, it was nice that the rival battle went smoothly, but Wattson will be a different story. So at first I tried to see how things look if Capaldi didn't have Rock Smash, and it's not good. Sure, it's nice to shrug off paralysis with a berry, but it's a hollow plus if you can just get paralyzed in the next turn. We don't really have time to lower our opponent's defense with Leer, so it's all about going on the offensive as soon as the battle starts. Getting confused from Supersonic really doesn't help our cause either. We are basically just trying to hang on as best as we can by using Swift anytime the game allows us to. At least we have eliminated our attacking move missing with Swift. We actually get Magnemite to go down, but we of course aren't in a good spot to beat Voltorb. Yeah, a win is not in sight here. So we're just going to cut to the chase here and admit that this challenge is going to be absolutely brutal if we ignore our option in using Rock Smash. So we teach Capaldi Rock Smash, which if you think about it is fitting given his name. Well, with our new move things are looking better. We of course need our Cherry Berry to heal from paralysis, but Rock Smash is doing well against Magnemite thanks to the defense drop for the first one. We actually take out Magnemite and we're not paralyzed, so this is a great start. Voltorb is out and immediately goes down thanks to an immediate self-destruct. Of course that didn't do a lot of damage, so I'm still liking how this attempt is going. Magneton is susceptible to Rock Smash, but his defense is obviously better than Magnemite, which is shown with our first Rock Smash against it. But Shockwave easily takes out about 3/4 of Capaldi's health. Yeah, we can't withstand that and we soon go down. I know we are stuck here and I'm not going to keep battling where we are right now. I'm not that stubborn. We need to grind, but the question is how long? I'm going to keep battling wild Pokemon on Route 117 until we get to level 35 and see how things stack up. Like my other needing Rock Smash for Wattson challenges, it's frustrating having to grind to raise our attack stat for such a weak fighting move. At level 35, our first attempt ended just like our previous attempts, mainly due to the fact that Voltorb actually used electric moves and bad paralysis luck with Magneton. We aren't going to talk about that. On the second attempt, Magnemite still goes down from 2 Rock Smashes while we shake off the paralysis it gave us from Thunderwave, essentially meaning we are moving on at full health and no paralysis. With Voltorb, we are going to start with Swift and see how that goes. Ooh, so close to a one-shot. Of course, its Spark is a critical hit, so this is looking a little bad. From here we keep spamming Swift while Wattson keeps healing Voltorb. It soon goes down. Okay, so we are not in the best spot for Magneton, but let's see if things turn around for us. Rock Smash is hitting a little harder, so that's good, and the defense drop is nice too. Capaldi gets paralyzed again from Thunder Wave, and this time we don't have a barrier to heal from it. Magneton isn't using Spark or Shockwave here, just Sonic Boom. And it misses, so that isn't the best offensive start here for Magneton. Of course, us being paralyzed in the next move is on par, so we're both wasting turns. Magneton's next turn deals with confusing Capaldi with Supersonic. Despite that and the paralysis, we were able to land another Rock Smash. Magneton is in the yellow and has another defense drop, which means if we can just hit one more Rock Smash, I am sure we can win this. Magneton still isn't attacking us with any electric moves for some reason. We take 20 damage from another Sonic Boom, snap out of confusion, and get lucky in landing one more Rock Smash to end the battle. Well, that went smoothly despite the status conditions. Yeah, those were going to be unavoidable. But when we really needed it, the defense drops from Rock Smash and the ability to attack our opponent happened when we needed them the most. Hopefully we can keep that kind of luck going when it comes to Flannery. But first, time to fight Maxi. Mighty Ian of course is out first and lowers our attack with Intimidate. Despite that debuff, we take it out with a Steel Wing thanks to it being a critical hit. Camera Up is next, and this is the one I'm worried about. Air Cutter is doing well, but Camera Up is still in the green afterwards. Its Ember does less damage than that, but still super effective, and this can add up quickly if we are not careful. It also doesn't help that our next Air Cutter misses. We are now in yellow health from another Ember, but we also take Camera Up to deep red health from another Air Cutter. It also wastes a turn by using a Magnitude on us. It's nice being immune to ground and poison moves, let me tell ya. We switched to using Swift to wrap this exchange up, but Maxi heals Camera Up with a Super Potion. It's not at full health though, so another Air Cutter finishes it off. Last out is Golbat, which just doesn't scare me at all. We're spamming Swift here, and it can't really do much to us. Maxi uses another Super Potion, but soon after we land a critical hit Swift, so this battle is wrapped up rather nicely. Yeah, I was a little nervous about the fight considering we would have to deal with the attack drop with Intimidate and an actual decent fire type, but in the end this went rather smoothly. Doesn't mean Flannery will go that way though. We don't really have a move we can learn to help us here, so here's hoping our level lead can go far. Well, we got farther than I was thinking. I really thought we could one-shot the Slugmas here. I didn't think they would be the problem, but no, and Air Cutter doesn't one-shot either of them. Because of that, the first one sets up a Sunny Day, and from there the second one does a lot of damage with its Flamethrower. Flannery does waste some Hyper Potions on them, but we get them down soon enough. We are not in a good spot being in yellow health with Torkoal now out, considering she was the threat I was worried about this whole time. Air Cutter does great with it being a critical hit, but did we really think we were going to survive an overheat here? Okay, let's get to level 42 and see how things look. Well, grinding for 3 levels might have actually been overkill. We are easily now at the spot where we can one-shot both Slugmas with an Air Cutter each. We use it against Torkoal as well when it comes out. It's still in green health after it though. Well, here comes Overheat. Well, we didn't get one shot, so that's good. Since Torkoal's special attack just dropped considerably, Flannery decides to attack Capaldi with Body Slam in her next turn. We are sticking with Air Cutter still, and thanks to another one, we get Torkoal to yellow health instead of red, so Flannery won't heal her up in the next turn, which means we can take out Torkoal with one more Air Cutter. That went way more smoothly than I was expecting it to be. Well, we got the 2 gyms I thought were going to be really difficult out of the way. Let's go face our dad. Honestly, I don't think this battle is going to have much to report. Trust me, I'm not going to rely on Rock Smash here like I have in other challenges. I know it's a super effective move, but trust me, the firepower just isn't there. No, we have better stab moves, and really our big secret weapon in this fight is our steel typing. Normal moves hardly make a dent in us. First out for Norman was his first slacking. Our Air Cutter isn't doing as much as I would like, but hey, at least it is doing better than his Facade. Steel Wing on the other hand is a critical hit, so that's really efficient. We get a couple more of those and maybe this battle will wrap itself up real quick. The other Slacking is now out and we are back to dealing some lackluster damage with Steel Wing. We are still taking these hits here really well thanks to our typing. I tried a Rock Smash here to see if we could get a Fist Drop to help us, but it doesn't happen. And Slacking is barely in the green. But thanks to Slacking's Trune ability, he can't really start anything up, so we soon take him out with 2 Air Cutters. Last out is Vigoroth, and this is where the battle gets kind of annoying. Just like the rest of the battle, we aren't in any real danger here from moves like Facade or Slash, but when we do 2 Air Cutters, Vigoroth is always still standing with a Sliver. which of course means that Norman is going to heal it up to full health with a hyper potion. We repeat this process 3 times before we finally get to the point where we can take Vigoroth out with one more air cutter. Now that we can use Surf outside of battle, we now have the whole other half of the map open to us, so let's get going on that. So we head east from Mauville, and I stopped at that area where you can plant a bunch of berries. I remember from my past challenges that when it comes to the part of the game where we face the Elite Four, I usually don't have a lot of PowerPoint replenishing items. Well, I might as well cut to the chase and start planting leopard berries so we can get a good number of them when it comes to the end of the game. From here we are heading north to the Weather Institute. I've decided that we are at a point in the game where we should probably start skipping trainers when we can. We already have a sizable level lead, and I still want this run to be a challenge. Besides the other gym leaders, this shouldn't be that bad. Of course, I'm moving through this route a little haphazardly, so I do run into a battle here and there, and of course there are battles at the Weather Institute, and those can't be skipped. Speaking of battles, we do have another rival battle we have to take care of. First for our rival is Whalmer. Steelwing does a good amount of damage here, while its Water Pulse hardly does anything, and even better yet, doesn't confuse us. From there, Air Cutter knocks it out. Next is Combustion, and even though fire should be a scary type for us, Combustion is also part fighting, which means a flying move like Air Cutter also makes short work here. Flying is also super effective against grass types, so Shroomish doesn't last long either. Also, when would we ever need Metal Sound? I had to check to see if it lowers defense or special defense, but still. We are a 100% physical attacker, there is no point in us picking up this move. See guys, I'm learning. I'm getting back on track on keeping my physical and special types straight. Took a couple of challenges, but there's some improvement. Okay, enough rambling, let's see how things look against Winona. Okay, right before we got to Winona, I noticed one of our Zigzagoons picked up a King's Rock. That's quite the pickup. For those of you who don't know, this is a held item that you can give to a Pokemon so that their attacks in battle have a 10% chance in flinching. That's not really high, but hey, it's nice when it kicks in. So of course we were going to give this to Capaldi before the gym battle. Winona's first Pokemon, Swellow, starts with Double Team, but we were still able to land a rather powerful Steel Wing. I then switched using Swift, knowing that she would heal her Pokemon up with a Hyper Potion. It still takes Swellow to yellow health, while we take a little damage from an Aerial Ace. Another Swift and it goes down. It was a little stupid for me to use Steel Wing against Pelipper. I still thought it would do more than that. Water Gun does a little more damage than Aerial Ace, but still not a lot. Swift is still a great move in these situations. It's just so dependable. We do get confused though, which does lead to Capaldi hurting itself in its confusion. But confusion soon wears off and our next Swift is a critical hit, so we are still looking really good here. Well, now we're at the part of the battle I was dreading, a Skarmory versus Skarmory match. We don't really have a good move here, it resists all of our moves. But at the same time, we resist all of its moves too. Basically my plan is spam Rock Smash for a little bit. I know, it's a really bad weak move. But if we can get some defense drops out of this, then it would be very helpful. Air Cutter isn't doing much, so yeah, we could really use some defense drops. And you know, we get some. Well, 2. But 2 is really all you need to see a noticeable difference in Air Cutter damage output. We are also getting really fortunate that Winona's Skarmory isn't getting a defense buff from any of its Steel Wings because that can happen. We are at a perfect spot for the finishing blow. Get it? Because we're using Air Cutter? But Winona heals Skarmory up with a Hyper Potion. I expected that. Well, we were sticking with our plan because it's been going pretty well, I do think so myself. Winona's Skarmory keeps spamming Steel Wing, and we are going back and forth on using Rock Smash and Air Cutter. We are getting some extra defense drops on Skarmory, and we do get it back to red health rather quickly. Winona doesn't heal up this time, so Skarmory goes down. I hope that sand attack doesn't bite us in the butt later. Last out is Winona's Altaria, and our first attack misses. Shaking that off, we connect with the Steel Wing that takes Altaria to yellow health easily. Dragon Breath doesn't do a lot to our health, but it does paralyze Capaldi, so our luck looks like it's depleting here. Yep, just wasted a turn due to paralysis. That's okay, Dragon Breath still doesn't scare me. Well, there you go, we catch a break and we get our chance to end this battle with another Steel Wing. That went rather smoothly, so let's keep this progress moving. So we are going to head to Mount Pyre and battle Team Magma to progress the plot. But before that, we replace Capaldi's Air Cutter with Fly, get the Lepa berries we planted earlier, and we get another King's Rock? Huh, what are the odds you get 2 back to back like that? Anyway, fighting Team Magma here goes real smoothly. That's probably not surprising. It's probably not real obvious, but this part of the game is a little tedious in my opinion. Team Magma or Aqua basically force you to run around the map just for them to move their blockade, and I don't care about their nefarious schemes. I just want to get badges, beat the Elite Four, and become the very best, like no one ever was. But before we jump back into dealing with all of that, let's do the last rival battle of the game. Unless Wally is also considered a rival. I know this battle is technically optional, but let's just do it so we can say we did the series. All that being said, it was a really lacking battle. Solo hangs on by Sliver from a steel wing and then easily goes down, and then we spam Fly to knock out the rest of her team. Rivals just aren't like they used to be. Okay, so while we watch this montage of me having to go to the Magma hideout to find out that the boss isn't there, forcing us to go to Slateport, watch the unskippable scene of Team Magma stealing the submarine, forcing us to go back to the hideout, and now we can battle through it just to have a grunt fight us so Maxi can escape in the submarine. Okay. Look, I know what they're trying to do and making Team Magma look like they're always one step ahead of us here, but really, it's just annoying. While we watch me do that, let's talk gameplay here a little. What we really care about is our badge run, and the good thing is we really only need 2 more. The bad news is the next one is Tate and Liza, and we all know double battles are so much fun in solo Pokemon challenges. Catching Magikarp to be our extra spot placeholder isn't bad. It's the trying to survive and take out 2 Pokemon at once that's the difficulty. More good news, we have a couple moves so we can hit both targets at the same time in one turn. It's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. More bad news, Tate and Liza's Pokemon are Solrock and Lunatone, which means they're part rock type. And wait, Skarmory is technically a bird, which means the reverse of that phrase. Killing 2 rocks with 1 bird is a bad and rather inefficient idea. It also doesn't really make sense. It's almost like we have to do a double battle with an improved Roxanne. Oh, and Solrock has Flamethrower. You know, to add insult to injury. Short of getting the Shell Bell for some additional healing within the battle, I'm just going to jump in and see how we are looking where we currently are. Well, I have half the pieces needed to make a Shell Bell, so I just go ahead and battle Tate and Liza, and it goes horrible. Rock Smash does hardly any damage, and we are solely battling with our fingers crossed hoping for defense drops. Getting burned is a death sentence. Obviously, there are a few takeaways. Sidekick is still not hitting hard thanks to our typing, and we are still in the green after Flamethrower during a sunny day. It's still a scary move, but still we are doing better in some ways than I thought. We really need that Shell Bell and some levels. Maybe level 55? But before getting level 55, let's see how things are looking at level 50. I'm actually surprised our stats look like this. I mean, we are falling into the trend that Skarmory stats would normally take. It's just I wasn't really paying attention, and I am floored on how high our defense stat is while everything else is really trailing behind. I mean, our attack isn't even at 100 yet, and look at our special attack. True, we are not even using that stat, but still. When you really think about it, our speed is looking pretty good when you consider our nature is kind of hampering it. Honestly, taking a look at these stats reinforces the notion that we need to grind for levels because we really need improvement in our attack and special defense stats if we want to beat Tate and Liza. So we get to level 55 easy enough by fighting a lot of the trainers we have skipped in nearby routes, and it's not really making much of a difference in this Tate and Liza battle. We have our fingers crossed each time we use Rock Smash in hopes that we get a fence drop for Solrock. Solrock is the threat here still since it has Flamethrower. But like we all know, hoping for a defense drop from Rock Smash is a horrible plan, and while we are waiting for those drops to happen, we often either fall asleep, get burned, or just flat out faint with no visible progress to show for our faulty plan. But then, in an act of desperation, I made a discovery that I should have made a long time ago. And some of you have probably been screaming at me about this way back when I was doing this fight back at level 49. At this current attempt, I have made no progress lowering Solrock's defense. We have barely any health left, and as a last-ditch Hail Mary to take Solrock out, I decide to use Steel Wing, which easily takes out Solrock and is super effective. How long has that move been a super effective move? Pretty much the whole time Steel types existed, Einstein. I'm not feeling really smart here. I got Ground and Rock mixed up, and I thought Steel would not be effective here. That's an extremely dumb mix-up. Extremely dumb. Especially when I also one-shot Lunatone with a single Steel Wing. Hey, this is not my career, I am not a professional. Let me know in the comments if you saw the solution way back when I was trying to beat Tate and Liza at level 49. With this whole brain fart behind us, we are going to continue on getting the last gym badge of the game, which means we have to work on finishing up the rest of the Team Magma storyline, aka one more battle against Maxi. He starts with Mightyena, which means we now have decreased attack from Intimidate. Don't you get tired of me saying that. Steel Wing does an alright amount of damage here while we lose some speed to a Scary Face, which does give Mightyena the chance to attack first next turn with a very weak takedown. Our next Steel Wing then takes it to low red health. I have Capaldi use Swift, knowing that Maxi was going to heal up here, and hopefully it makes our next move be in one-shot damage range. Of course, we get confused from Swagger soon after and hurt ourselves from it. Takedown still isn't doing much to us though, so when we get our chance to attack with Swift, it soon takes Mightyena out. Maxi then sends out Camerupt and we switch back to using Fly. Camerupt does use Amnesia while we are up in the air, but that's not going to help it at all here. Fly then lands and does a ton of damage, but Camerupt is still standing with a little health left. Is Maxi going to heal up? Yep, of course he is, but he's still in yellow health though. A critical hit Swift was great here as well. Last out is Crobat, he's faster and hits us with a really weak wing attack. Steel Wing though hits a lot harder. A lot harder. Crobat is now the one with just a sliver, and since Maxi healed his other Pokemon here, he doesn't heal Crobat, which means the battle ends with us getting hit by another weak wing attack while we easily finish it off. We do have to fight Groudon, but we all know what we really care about is the final gym battle with Wallace. Really, there isn't a strategy when it comes to fighting all these water types. We are just going to jump in and see how hard we hit, and hopefully we withstand these attacks well enough with our special defense and Shell Bell. Let's go. Love Disc is an easy one-shot with Fly. Whiscash is tankier, which shouldn't be surprising. Fly does well if it doesn't miss, but we need to hit harder here. Of course, Whiscash is a little bit of a setup Pokemon. It will often be the one setting up a Rain Dance, and it likes to waste turns by using Amnesia. Water Pulse deals about 30 damage here, and that's with the Rain Dance buff. Swift takes Whiscash to yellow health, which is great because it keeps it out of damage range where we would have to worry about walls healing it out. Another Swift took it out. Celio can be a little scary since it is part Ice type, but Aurora Beam doesn't hit that hard. I do open up this part of the battle with a Rock Smash, one because it's technically a super effective move and a potential defense drop that did not happen. Same story for the second one we do. Fly though is strong enough for a knockout. Seaking is annoying because I feel like we are stuck at a speed tie here, and if I had known that I would have used Swift instead of Fly. He resets up a Rain Dance and then misses a Water Pulse. Fly removes close to 2/3 of Seaking's health. We take a little damage from a Water Pulse and then use another Fly to make Seaking faint. All that is left is Melodic, which is easily Wallace's scariest Pokemon. Fly takes to almost half health. Its Ice Beam is a little scarier than Celio's Aurora Beam. Swift takes it to yellow health, which I thought would make this battle lock where we could take it out without Wallace healing it, but I forgot it has Recover. Swift takes it back to where it was after our first Fly against it. Water Pulse finally takes us to red health, and this is the first time in the battle that it confuses us. Perfect timing. We of course have the misfortune to hit ourselves in confusion, taking our health to the single digits where of course we can't survive an Ice Beam. We gave this battle many attempts. Whiscash and Seaking can be annoying and they can beat us up pretty good, but we always come out on top. And we always heal up to some degree from the Shell Bell and other parts of the battle. It's Melodic that is the sole problem here. We can't come out on top. Confusion damage, super effective Ice Beam, getting extra healing from Recover, and it can hit us with Twister while we're in the air from Fly. This thing has all sorts of ways to stall us till we just get exhaustively defeated in battle. We need to grind, and I'm going to see how things look at level 60 for starters. So Love Disc is still not a problem obviously. Whiscash is now an easy 2-Fly knockout despite us getting confused by the first Water Pulse. Celio is an easy 1-Fly and Swift knockout, and we are no longer confused, so even better. Seaking though is annoying right here due to some bad luck. Swift only takes out about 1/3 of its health. Sure, Water Pulse isn't hitting hard, but at least it is hitting because our next Fly just flat out misses. To make matters worse, the next Water Pulse confuses us, which means our next Fly hits us instead. Come on, we just need Fly to land. But I decided that we are wasting time using Fly because a 2-turn attack increases our chance of hurting ourselves in confusion, so Swift seemed like a better choice. Of course, we snap out of confusion with that move, but whatever. The problem is with Swift, Seaking is now red health, which means of course he gets a Hyper Potion. Well, back to starting over with Swift. And another one, since I was thinking it would bring Seaking to red health, and if I wanted Wallace to use up healing items, it's here. And yep, he took the bait. Fishing pun. This does come at a price though, considering we are now at yellow health with Melodic out. But the grinding really pays off here because it makes Fly hit hard enough for it to knock out Melodic in 2 attacks. Sea-King wasn't scary here. Like, I didn't think it would be easy to take out, but it was more tedious in this battle and easily more annoying. 3 levels and the hardest Pokemon in the battle became an easy wrap-up. I love it when things work out like that. Well, let's get through Victory Road. So we're now in the low 60s here, level-wise, and even though I'm not sure we are ready for all the Elite Four, this is another one of those runs where we don't have a lot of strategy due to our type matchups. We lost to Wally? Well, we didn't heal up before we faced him, so we could easily win if we were healed. Seriously? Okay, so Magneton is still a thorn in our side. Altaria can go down easily thanks to a couple of Steel Wings, but Magneton is Wattson all over again, but worse. Mainly because we're still sticking with our plan against Wattson, which is to use a very weak Rock Smash in hopes of a defense drop. We do get an attempt where we are getting lucky with the defense drops, but this Magneton has Thunderbolt, which hits really, really hard. 2 hits and we fall to the teens here when it comes to our health. Luckily, after 2 defense drops, a 3rd Rock Smash hits hard enough to make Magneton faint, which is great. The big threat is gone, but we have 3 more Pokemon to fight and we only have 20 health. Come on, Shellbell, do your work. Fly takes Delcadia to red health, and we heal some here, but man, I wish Shellbell worked like leftovers, where we can heal every turn instead of only healing on turns we do damage. Oh, thank you, we dodged Sing. Swift soon takes it out. Gardevoir is now out, and Fly is still doing a good job, but it's in yellow health this time instead of red. This whole time Gardevoir has just been using double team, so Swift is a better option here. Of course, Wally uses a super potion for some healing. Hey, that's fine. We will keep using Swift and heal some ourselves. It soon goes down, and all that is left is Rosalia, which is easily a one-shot with Fly. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, the Elite Four. Like I was saying, we don't have a lot of super effective type advantages here, but also we aren't weak to these types at the same time. So even though I like basing strategy around type matchups, here we just basically have to focus on being strong enough to be hard hitting to take out our opponents quickly. I am very thankful for our steel typing and the 197 defense stat we have, which is insane when you look at it compared to the rest of our stats. I wish our attack stat is higher, but we are going to see how things look here and see if we really need to make some adjustments. And that also goes for our move pool. I'm not thrilled about the fact we still have Rock Smash, so if we do need to change moves, it is very likely that will be the first one to go. Even though fighting is super effective against Sydney, and technically Steven later on at the end, I don't think I'm ever going to use this move much, to be honest. Let's jump in and see how we really look. Let's go. Things are going pretty well when it comes to Sydney, except for Sharpedo. But first, Mightyena, which means our attack drop from Intimidate. Steel Wing is still doing okay here though. Another one takes Mightyena to red health while we are taking very little damage from some crunches. Sydney heals Mightyena with a full restore. Well, since we are back to the beginning here, we might as well try to get some defense drops from Rock Smash, and we were getting some good luck with that. We do get hit with a sand attack, so Swift here is a really safe way to ultimately knock Mightyena out. Okay, so Sharpedo. I like Swift because of its ability Rough Skin. If we do any physical contact attacks, we will be taking damage each turn. We gotta be smart here. That being said, Swift isn't hitting as hard as I would hope. The swagger here is nice because we could really use an attack buff, but its confusion status condition is not ideal. We keep hurting ourselves here, and with back-to-back surfs we are easily in red health. We luckily finally get a break where we hit with Swift, and with the attack raise we get, Sharpedo goes down to a sliver. Really thankful for the Shell Bell here because we heal up enough to outlast a crunch and finish Sharpedo with another Swift. Okay, we are in a really bad spot here. We do get a break by one-shotting Cacturn with Fly. There's some healing right there. Fly isn't a one-shot against Absol, but it is still pretty beat up. It just wastes time with Snatch, so Swift is used for the knockout. Okay, we can breathe some here with us rising to yellow health. Last Pokemon for Sydney is Swiftry, but just like Cacturn, Fly makes this exchange real short. Whew, that was a close one. Phoebe on the other hand took several attempts, so if you haven't done the math, we only have half of our moveset at our disposal here. That, and for most of the battle, we use 2 power points each time we attack thanks to the pressure ability part of Phoebe's team has. On top of all this, Dusclops is kinda tanky for a ghost type. We are just not hitting as hard as we should be. This took several attempts, and some runs we are just dead in the water if we get hit with Curse or Burn from Will-O-Wisp. We just can't live past that. Just like Sydney, we need a little more firepower. Do we grind? Well, right before I go to the point where I admit that we need to, we have this attempt where we take the first Dusclops to red health from 2 Steel Wings. During this time, all our opponent is doing is hitting us with a weak Shadow Punch and a Future Sight. course, Phoebe heals Dusclops with a full restore, but Fly is still hitting hard to keep us on schedule. We get it back to red health with another one and then take it out with a Steel Wing. Bayonet is weaker when it comes to defense, so Fly easily takes it to yellow health. That spike can be annoying because we can't really afford to lose a lot of Fly power points, but for the time being we are doing well taking Bayonet out with a Steel Wing. It's a relief getting past those two Pokemon so far and not being cursed or burned. Second Dusclops is now out and two Steel Wings also gets this one to red health, but this time its berry brings it back to yellow health, and missing our Steel Wing is unfortunate, giving it another turn to attack us with another Ice Beam. It's also unfortunate that Steel Wing doesn't actually hit hard enough to knock out Dusclops here. I really thought this would be an easy knockout. It is hanging on and we have to burn through another 2 power points of Steel Wing for it to faint. At least Sableye is real easy to take down with 2 flies. We take a little damage from Sidekick, but I'm still just relieved to have an easy, quick portion here in this part of the battle. Now we just have to finish the second Bayonet. But from here I made the discovery that we used up all of our power points for Fly against Sableye. All we have to attack is 6 power points for Steel Wing. And we missed Steel Wing. Please don't do this to me, game. Okay, next Steel Wing does hit, and we take a little damage from a Shadow Ball, and our next Steel Wing hits. Okay, perfect. Okay, that was getting a little close, but there's a knockout, and there's another win. Okay, we probably should not have won that battle. I know there's some luck there with Phoebe not using certain moves, but also we had some bad accuracy luck there too. In the end, it's still a win, and I will take it. Let's see how we look against Glacia at this level. It's a weird mix here. We're doing well, but it's also hard to put a lot of our team away. We can't knock any of our team out quick, and that gives our Pokemon a chance to stack up damage with moves like Surf, Ice Beam, or Blizzard. Hail usage also negates our Shell Bell. Thanks to our Zigzagoons throughout this game, we have collected 17 rare candies, so I bumped Capaldi up 2 levels, and from there we are doing better, but a win is still out of reach. Let's see how level 67 looks. Better, but no victory. Honestly, half the battle is not missing 90, yes, 90 accuracy moves. Sometimes when you need these moves most, they just flat out miss. Okay, let's level up some more to level 69. Yeah, we're doing a nice job here. Hitting a little harder, but it all comes down to Wall Rain. We just can't outlast it. Multiple attempts all come down to the same ending. Okay, let's go one more level up to 70. Glalie is a one-shot with Steel Wing right out of the gate. 2 Steel Wings takes out the first Celio, but it does set up a Hail in between. The second Celio is out now, but this time we get lucky with Steel Wing being a critical hit one-shot. Actually, the second Glalie is also one-shot. This attempt is going extremely well. Last out is Walrein. Fly hits, but Walrein is still in green health and responds with a Blizzard. Another Fly helps us dodge a Blizzard and then gets Walrein to yellow health. We get lucky in Walrein's next Blizzard, missing on its own, but Walrein also is healed up some from a berry. But that's okay, because our next Fly still hits hard enough to take Walrein out. I really wasn't expecting Glacia to be that much of a brick wall. I was really thinking Drake was going to be the part we would get stuck on. There are some fire moves in this mix here, and dragons are always scary if you don't have a way to put them away quickly. Let's just see how we size up from here. The first attempt we forget to heal up, and even though Flygon only hit us with 1 sand attack, we missed 3 Flies in a row. See what I mean about bad accuracy luck? Okay, new attempt and full health. Well, we actually are able to hit a Fly this time, and it was a critical hit, but also we got burned from a flamethrower, so this is also a loss. It might be a little bit random, but I decided to replace Swift with Aerial Ace. Honestly, I should have done this a long time ago. Aerial Ace is basically flying Swift in the case that doesn't miss, and since it is Stab, it will hit harder. We need this boost and a reliable move. It might be the difference maker here, and yes, I know that this could have also saved us a lot of heartache when it came to fighting Phoebe and maybe Glacia earlier. Well, Capaldi does get Flygon down with 3 Aerial Aces, but that just means that Salamence is next. This thing really just lowers our attack with Intimidate, almost destroys us with a Flamethrower, and then since that burns us, we go down soon from there. I think we need to break out the rare candies again. Level 75? Nope, that still isn't cutting it. The improvements are hardly noticeable here either. I gave this many attempts here and then used up the last of our rare candies to get Capaldi to level 80, which is just like 75 and the levels before it. This is such a multifaceted issue. We can't take down Shelgon in one hit, which means we often get hit with Rock Tomb, which means we always get a speed drop, which means Flygon and Salamence are faster than us, which means they get a head start on attacking us with Flamethrower. We sometimes get burned, which also adds more damage and a loss of attack, and even more attack power is lost with Salamence's Intimidate. I have many videos of us going down basically the same way, which means only one thing. We need to grind. And I am in a frustrated mood here, so you know what that means. We are just running through the Elite Four until we get to a level where we can come out on top. 81? No. 83? No. 85? Well, a flying and aerial ace takes Shelgon out while it just makes a small dent in our health with Dragon Claw.
No Rock Tomb means no speed drop.
We also got Flygon down the same way.
It just attacks us with a flamethrower, which yeah, kinda hurts, but at least we don't have an accuracy drop on our hands.
Well, let's see if this gives us a break against Salamence. Well, we still have the attack drop from Intimidate, so Fly isn't hitting hard, but at least Flamethrower is doing about the same amount of damage. Another Fly takes Salamence to yellow health, but another Flamethrower takes Capaldi to yellow health as well. Salamence gets healed from a berry, which helps us since it means Drake won't fully heal Salamence. From here, we are in the perfect spot to take Salamence out with Fly. Okay, well we got through that major hurdle, but how will we do against the rest of the team? The second Flygon gets taken to half health from Fly, but the second one doesn't hit hard enough for the knockout.
Which of course means that Flygon gets the chance to paralyze us with Dragon Breath.
And of course, Drake uses a full restore. We are able to get Flygon back to red health thanks to some aerial aces, but it took a while due to some bad paralysis luck. We are fortunate though that Dragon Breath isn't dealing a lot of damage. Drake heals Flygon again. This is starting to get a little frustrating, but thankfully we are able to attack with Aerial Ace on our next turn and it ends up being a critical hit. That is our lucky break. But we aren't done yet, because we have Altaria now. Steel Wing does a lot of damage here, and we are still holding our own thanks to our typing. Another Steel Wing leads to Altaria having just a sliver of health left. Surprisingly, Drake doesn't heal up here, so we get the chance to use an Aerial Ace for the win. Geez, even with Salamence down, we struggled to steal that win. I don't even want to think about battling Steven, and I am so glad I'm doing Ruby here and not Emerald because he would be so much worse in that game. Okay, let's jump in. I don't think this is going to be pretty. Well, we start the battle with a Skarmory mirror match. Just like our battle against Winona, we are going to be using Rock Smash for a while. Yeah, it still isn't dealing a lot of damage, but we need the defense drops. Steven Skarmory doesn't have a good move against us, and it doesn't have a plan that gives Steven an advantage here. When we do finally start attacking with moves besides Rock Smash, we are doing alright. We got Skarmory to red health at least, but Steven heals Skarmory up with a full restore. We stick with Rock Smash hoping that we can get some more defense drops so Steven Skarmory can go down easier. We are getting some luck here and there. Before you know it, Steven's first Pokemon is down. Aggron is next, and Rock Smash is still the move of choice.
Its thunder is scary, but we are still able to hold our own, so soon enough we take another Pokemon out.
Claydol is next, but Aerial Ace makes this exchange a really short one. Credilli handles the Aerial Ace better than Claydol, so I try to see if Fly will hit hard enough to knock it out. It's not, so it's back to full health from a full restore. We don't really have another plan here, so we try a couple more Aerial Aces. Ugh, so close, that has to be 1 health. I can't believe Credilli hung on like that. Steven uses another full restore, so here we go again. Well, maybe Rock Smash might be able to give us the edge. Well, we use one and there is a defense drop, so let's see how far this goes. Well, it's enough for Fly to cause the faint. Finally making some more progress. Harmado is like Claydol. An Aerial Ace and a Fly ends this part of the battle real quick. All we have left to worry about is Metagross. This thing is tanky, so we need all the help we can get to take this thing out quickly. So if you haven't noticed the trend, we are back to hoping for defense drops from Rock Smash. Yeah, that first Rock Smash was a critical hit, so you can tell this is not a real efficient attack option. It's extremely inefficient considering we only get to use 1 Rock Smash due to exhausting all of its power points. We don't really have any good moves against Metagross, so we're just going to be trying to throw whatever we got against it. Metagross doesn't really have any good options against us either, but we did start this part of the battle around half health. We do get Metagross to red health first, but Steven has another full restore handy. From here we are at a disadvantage due to being at red health while Metagross is at full health, and we don't have any moves that can take Metagross out fast enough before it takes us out. Well, that actually was going really well until it wasn't. I think the win is still in sight here. Actually, I was dead wrong. Aggron is an absolute menace here. It basically has the only super effective move against us for the whole team, and trust me, it will spam it. And since when did Thunder hit this much? The thing barely misses. And if Capaldi gets paralyzed, then there is no way we can win. If we can get past it, then we can usually get past everyone else, except Metagross. This is where it took me another embarrassing long time until I realized I was making another stupid mistake. So if I got to facing Metagross, I know that none of my moves are effective against it. I figured that we need to stick with lowering its defense with Rock Smash, but after the third or fourth attempt of trying to lower Metagross' defense like that, it suddenly dawned on me why I haven't seen a single defense drop. Clear Body. Metagross' ability prevents any type of stat reductions. We can't do anything to affect its stats, so if we want to overpower it, we need to focus on our own stats. Yep, more grinding it is. We are at least going to level 95, maybe 100. Well, we were actually at level 96 by the time we get back to Steven, and the first attempt we still lose, but also we were paralyzed when it was all said and done. Aggron can still be a nuisance in this battle, and honestly the rest of the team leading up to Metagross are really just there and not really dangerous to us. So how do things look if we got past Aggron not paralyzed? Well, funny you should mention that, because in our next run, we are sticking with Rock Smash on Steven's Skarmory. It's not hitting that hard, but we are getting several defense drops when it's all said and done. Besides that, we are getting hit with weak Steel Wings. When the time is right, we hit it with Fly and it goes down easy. We are also sticking with Rock Smash for Aggron. It does deal a good bit of damage, and having a defense drop with it, plus one of Aggron's Thunders missing, means it goes down while we're still looking really good here in green health. This is a great start. What makes it even better is the next 3 Pokemon are easy to take out with Aerial Ace. Claydol is a critical hit one-shot, while Cardilli and Armaldo go down from 2 Aerial Aces each. That's a lot of healing too from the Shell Bell. So all that is left for the game is our final brick wall, Metagross. So the plan here is for our 1 Steel type outlasting Steven's last Steel type, and honestly on paper we can do this thanks to having several attack options left and Capaldi's level and defense stat. First part of this plan though centers around limiting the amount of times we get hit by Psychic. It's a weak move, but it's the best move Metagross has against us. So Fly is key here. We basically get hit by Psychic 5 times, while also having turns where Metagross misses us with Psychic while we're up in the air. We do heal some here, but that's really minuscule. Metagross easily falls to yellow health, but easily gets back to green health from a berry. That's okay, we are still at a good spot and can get Metagross to red health for the first time. Of course, since we have been taking out Steven's team so easily, he hasn't really used any full restores yet, so here he used one. Even though Metagross is at full health now, we are still sticking with our current plan, and it pays off with a critical hit, Fly. But of course Steven uses the second full restore. This is getting frustrating, but we do have a good takeaway here. No more sidekicks from Metagross. Sometimes Steven wastes a turn using Earthquake, but for the most part we are taking very little damage from Meteor Mash or Hyper Beam. Of course none of our moves are effective either, but our level lead is what is making a difference here. Metagross is back to red health, but here comes a third full restore. Here we go again. We keep exchanging weak moves, get Metagross back to red health, and Steven uses another full restore. Good grief, can we just wrap this up? Well, there's nothing else we can do besides sticking with our attacks. We finally use one more Aerial Ace to knock out Metagross and win the game. I don't even want to know how bad that would be if we did this challenge in Emerald where Steven's team is stronger. Maybe that would be a good future challenge. Skarmory though and Ruby had an interesting run. We had a pretty easy run all things considered when it came to getting the badges, but things ramped up in difficulty when we got to the Elite Four. The change in difficulty was almost night and day. That being said, I like a challenge, and with Skarmory's typing, it did make the run interesting. Not a whole lot of diversity when it comes to attack choices, but Pokemon's sturdy in most of these fights and can take a lot of hits before going down. All in all, Skarmory is a hell of a bird. I hope you guys like this challenge. My next challenge will be a Pokemon Leaf Green, where we will see if you can beat the game with a single Clefairy. Should be kind of interesting considering Clefairy is basically a 180 of Skarmory. The thing's not tanky really, and we will have a lot of cool attacks we can learn through TMs. Pretty excited about it. But in the meantime, you can watch some of my other challenges, and don't forget to like the videos, subscribe for more updates, and please leave some comments for what you liked about the video, what challenges you'd like to see in the future, and suggestions on how I can make these videos better. I could always use some creative input when it comes to making these. Thanks for watching everybody, and until next time, Geronimo.